Iran is blaming Israel for a sabotage attack on the country's largest nuclear facility and says it will retaliate. Israel has not directly claimed responsibility, but media reports there say an Israeli cyber attack was behind the incident. The Natanz enrichment site suffered a large-scale blackout on Sunday, just hours after uranium enrichment was restarted at the plant. It comes barely a week after the U.S. and Iran held indirect talks in Vienna aimed at reviving the nuclear pact that former U.S. President Donald Trump had abandoned. Let's get some perspective on this story now. We have Adnan Tabatabai in Düsseldorf. He is an Iran analyst. Adnan, thank you very much for joining us. What do we actually know about what or who was behind this cyber attack?
At this point, obviously, we have to make some educated guesses. And I think the fact that attacks like this have happened before and that it has always been an open secret that an Israeli operation was behind it, we can assume this time that this is the case again. But as you already pointed out, a lot of speculation is going on and nobody has claimed responsibility so far. But it would be the most likely scenario in my view.
Okay, so let's talk about what happened, because Iran says that the centrifuges were damaged. Tell us more about this infrastructure and why it matters, why it's important.
Natanz is a key nuclear enrichment site in Iran and obviously a key target for those who assume Iran is in fact pursuing a nuclear program that is supposed to produce nuclear weapons in the end. Right now, there are talks going on in Vienna, as you already hinted to, and we have already last week seen an attack on an Iran-flagged tanker that has been supposedly carried out by the Israelis. And this nuclear facility is critical for Iran's enrichment and its progress in enrichment. And it can be assumed that this progress and the development of new centrifuges was supposed to be undermined. And that's what this attack, I assume, has been about.
Well, Iran says this is also Israel's effort to sabotage these negotiations in Vienna that you'd mentioned. Where do those talks stand right now?
There has been, in fact, some promising signals that the U.S. and Iran in particular, indirectly conveying messages to each other through Europeans, the Chinese and the Russians, who are also party to this to the nuclear agreement, that they are trying to find a way out to restore the nuclear deal that was signed in 2015. And Israel has been an explicit opponent of this, and with criticism coming from the prime minister, but also other parts of the Israeli leadership, that this deal should not go ahead. And this is why everyone assumes that Israel has been behind these operations to halt these diplomatic talks going on in Vienna.
As you said, Adnan, still a lot of speculation. We're not sure, but it is not the first time that Iran has claimed that its nuclear plant was sabotaged. So how vulnerable are their plans to outside attacks?
Well, we have to say that on the one hand, obviously, the security detail in all of these nuclear sites is quite advanced. But at the same time, cyber operations carried out by Mossad, for example, are obviously of most high-tech quality one could think of. And I don't really think that any security setup can, in fact, protect a site against these attacks. And that's also the reason why one can assume that the Mossad has been behind it, because of the high advanced operation skills that are necessary to, in fact, conduct such an operation.
Iran analyst Adnan Tabatabai joining us from Düsseldorf. Thank you very much.